Looking over the attendees, it appears we're still missing one member of the Port Hueneme Council. Is that correct?
Oh, Sylvia is no longer on the council.
Right. Okay, so and the city has not made their
seat right now. We've not selected our committee members. We're supposed to do that this evening at this evening's city council meeting.
Okay, well then I guess we'll move ahead so that you all can get to that important business. Let me just, sorry, I've got a split screen on a laptop, so it takes me a little bit of time to operate between both the agenda and the screen here.
Christy, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
So is there any way to get me off so that I can redo it so I can see everybody else? Right now it's just locked on video preview.
We tried. So Charles tried to kind of manually eject you from the meeting, but it was giving him a notice that you would be permanently removed and not allowed to rejoin. So we were ready to do that. I mean, I know it's hard not to see everybody, but at least we have your audio for this meeting.
Yeah, I guess I'm concerned about like this evening if whatever this is still does that, but okay.
I'm happy to test and practice with you following this meeting, sir. If you'd like to just do that prior to council, I'm happy to help.
Great, thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, well, Director Rollins, I apologize because I did my hair and makeup for tonight and you can't see me.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and call the January 19th, 2021 Port Hueneme Water Agency regular meeting to order. And if I could ask the clerk for a roll call, please.
Member Hernandez? Member Hernandez?
Here.
Member Dudley?
Present.
Ex officio member Jacobson?
Here.
Vice Chair Rollins?
Here.
Chair Bouchard?
Here.
Everybody's present.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comment. I'd ask the chair if we have any members of the public or public comment received that we need to enter into the record.
There were no general public comments, nor were there any for any of the agenda items.
Okay, moving forward, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight, providing that there's no staff modification. So we're looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, if we can ask the chair for a roll call, please.
Member Hernandez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Rollins?
Yes.
Member Dudley?
Yes.
And Chair Bouchard?
Yes. And I'm sorry if you all would maybe just entertain really quickly. I apologize. I jumped into this getting into just in business mode. I would like to formally acknowledge and appreciate and recognize Director Sean Debley is joining the PHWA board for the Channel Islands Beach Community Service District, and welcome him and give Sean an opportunity maybe just to introduce himself if we all don't know each other. Is that okay, clerk?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sean Debley. I've been a board member for Channel Islands Beach going on a little over 2 years now. I've got an extensive background in local government, working with the County of Ventura. I was the substitute member my first year, so I did officially get sworn in back then. So I'm not sure if there's certain things we need to go through in order to make me an official PHWA member, but I did do that before. And just happy to be here. And, I want to acknowledge Marcia for her, tenure with the district and, participating with Port Hueneme Water Agency for, gosh, on and off for a very long time. So hopefully I can fill her shoes and look forward to being a part of the group.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, moving forward to, we don't have any presentations. The next item on our agenda is the consent agenda, which if board members don't have a need to pull one item or the other, we have the minutes of the regular meeting of the agency from November 16th, 2020, and a request to receive and file the cash disbursement report for November 7th, 2020 through January 11th, 2021.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, if we can ask the clerk of the board to conduct a roll call vote.
Vice Chair Rollins,
Yes.
Member Hernandez. Member Hernandez?
Yeah.
Member Dudley?
I'll abstain
Yes.
since I wasn't part of the meeting.
Thank you, sir. And Chair Bouchard?
Yes.
Motion's on a 3-1 vote with Member Dudley abstaining. Thank you.
Christy, is there any chance maybe there's a microphone setting? You sound very, very distant for us. So I'm not sure if there's any correction, but just I think that's why Director Hernandez and a couple of us, I have to lean in to hear you.
Thank you, sir. I'll work on that.
Thank you. That actually was better there. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay, we are moving on to the business items of the agenda, and we have the Brackish Water Reclamation Demonstration Facility operational report, and this will be presented by Mr. Don Villafana, the Public Works Director.
Good afternoon, and Sean, good to see you, Sean. All right, this is the operational report, and this is for 2 months. This was for November and December. During the month of November, the plant was in full operation. The SDI, the silt density indexes, were within the tolerable ranges so that we could run the membranes. Our demand for November 2020 was 3.93 million gallons per day, which was less than our demand in October. Our demand in October was 3.94 million gallons per day. But our demand this November was greater than last November. Last November, we had 3.15 million gallons. And for the month of November, United Water supplied approximately 85% of our water supply, our water needs, and Cayugas 15%. For the month of December, the plant was in full operation. Again, the silt density indexes were within the tolerable ranges, and we could run the membranes. Our demand for December was 3.65 million gallons per day, which was less than our demand the previous month in November. In November, it was 3.93 million gallons. However, our demand this December was greater than last year. Last year, our demand was 2.41 million gallons per day. And this year, for the month of December, United Water supplied approximately 90% of our water needs, and Cayugas 10%. Are there any questions?
So I appreciate the report, Mr. Villafana. I will just look for a verbal indication or, visual indication if anybody has questions. And I think Vice Chair Rollins has a question, so please.
Yes, Mr. Villafano, I noticed that we have not had to use our filtration system as much this year, even though we've utilized more water through the United Water, but our pump system and our filtration system has been used less, and I just wanted to kind of know why, because I would think that if we use our United Water, we'd actually be using our filtration pumps even more.
No, we were using our filtration. the plant was in full operation for the month of November and December. And for most of this year, the plant was in operation because the silt density index, which when it has to be below a threshold of 3 in order for it not to foul our membranes. So for most of the year, 2020, the plant was in operation. There was a period of time when we had the water break where we were using exclusively Cayugas water, where the plant was not in operation. But no, for the month of November and December, our membranes were in operation. So we were using our filtration plant.
Okay. And then I'm assuming we're using more water because everybody's at home right now.
Well, you do get, it's been a hotter, it's been a drier year, and so, but we're still well within our allocation. So that's not a problem.
Okay.
Water usage. Are there any other questions?
Okay, I'm not seeing any visual indications from other board members. Mr. Villafana, maybe to add to Director Rollins or your response, do you know, was the plant in operation last year at this same time? And if it wasn't, wouldn't that explain the more water use? So if we were just doing bypassing of the water, that's a direct delivery situation where if the plant is in operation, we have a reject of somewhere between 15 and 20%, right? Which would.
Well, yeah, it would account for, I do not know. I do not know if the plant was in operation last December. I would have to check. I don't have that information at the tip of my fingertips. But yes, if we are in bypass mode, we use less water because when we use the membranes, for every 100 gallons of water we run through the membranes, we reject in brine approximately 18 to 20 gallons. So that would account for increased usage, or could.
Okay. Is there questions from any other board members? If no other questions, we'll entertain a motion to receive and file this report.
Move to receive and file.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, I have Director Rollins moving to approve and Director Debley seconding that motion. And there's a request for a roll call vote. So please, Madam Clerk.
Vice Chair Rollins,
Yes.
Member Dudley,
Yes.
Member Hernandez,
Yes.
and Chair Bouchard.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you all. Moving on to item 4 under our business items is professional services agreement with Michael K. Nunley and Associates for preparation of the 2020 Port Hueneme Water Agency's Urban Water Management Plan. And again, it will be Mr. Villafana presenting this to the board. Mr. Villafana, all yours.
Okay. Every 5 years, the Urban Water Master Plan has to be updated. That's the State Water Resources Board mandate. We are currently updating the Urban Water Management Plan for the city of Port Hueneme. In December, I went to the City Council and requested authorization of approval of a professional service agreement with Michael K. Nunley and Associates, MKN, to prepare the update for the city. And there's, synergy and cost savings if we use the same consultant to prepare the report for Port Hueneme Water Agency. So I looked at several consultants, and currently MKN is also doing some work for the Channel Islands Beach District. And Mr. Martinez has been happy with their services. MKN has a good reputation. They're out of Ventura. They've done a number of these. And so I'm asking that the board approve the award of a professional services agreement with MKN and Associates for amount not to exceed $67,703 for the preparation of the urban water management update. We are mandated to have this complete by July 1st. And then there's also a 60-day public public hearing process. So we are on a tight timeline. Are there any questions?
My apologies. I will start in the upper left-hand corner with Director Hernandez, please.
Thank you, Chairman Bouchard. Hi, Don. Good to see you. Happy New Year. I was just reading over your staff report, and I'm thinking about some of the new council members coming on board, and it would be very helpful, I believe, to give a little bit more background on the purpose of the urban water management plan. In a sentence or two, can you just tell us what the primary purpose is of the water management plan, and then how old is our current plan?
Well, the current plan is 5 years old, and the State Water Board requires an update every 5 years. And they've added some more criteria to be updated, specifically seismic resiliency, and also to identify long-term water supply vulnerabilities to the system. There's a long list of items that are in there, but it is to identify and ensure that there is a long-term safe supply of water to the agency or the city, and that's the basic purpose, and also to comply with the mandate from the State Water Resources Board, which oversees all the water systems. Does that hopefully answer your question?
And where could we find that copy, a copy of that plan?
I could post it. I'd have to, you mean the one that was 5 years old? I believe it's on file.
Well, I don't know if you'd want to post something that's 5 years old.
Well,
but
Director Hernandez, if I may, all of the existing urban water management plans are available on the State Water Resources Control Board site for, you can go on, find them, search them based on your city, the agency, whatever it is, they are all available that way. So, you know, if you had an interest in looking and comparing how those are prepared, they are available there. If, you know, there's a request from the board to have agency staff share the existing plan with us, certainly I don't think there's an issue with that, to give you a direct link to it.
Yeah. I guess I don't know the scope of the plan. I don't know how many pages it is. I was just really in type of content that's in the plan, maybe a table of contents, but I can go online and look at that. That's no problem for me. Not everybody might be interested in seeing that, but I'm particularly interested in whether or not this plan is also informing our general plan. It sounds like it's a hazard plan of some sort, since you're looking at safety measures and water preservation. So is it something that we'll be using in the general plan as well?
It does address some aspects of that. It looks at water supply, which would be directly tied into our general plan. It's, you know, we're a landlocked city. We don't have a lot of room to grow, so our water demand is pretty static. If we had a lot of undeveloped land, then that would be a bigger issue. But it certainly does have, you know, play into our overall general plan.
If I may, Director Hernandez, I thought I heard Mr. Villafana state that a contract was delivered to the City Council for its own portion of the urban water management plan. The Beach District has to address certain pieces as well. So your questions are very relevant, but they're very city related. The PHWA has to look at both the Beach District, or excuse me, all entities, right? The PHWA plan needs to look at the Navy base, the Beach District, and the city. And so, you know, our general manager brought this particular contract before us a few months back to say, hey, you guys want to be supportive of moving this forward? And we said, absolutely, yes. And so each of the agencies will participate in the PHWA plan, which will help inform, or vice versa, they will inform one another, is my understanding.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other directors with questions?
I have
I'm
no more
looking
questions. Thank you.
Oh, please. Oh, okay. Director Debley, do you have questions?
No, none at this time.
Vice Chair Rollins?
No.
Ex officio member Jacobson, I don't want to forget you, Nathan. I've done that a few times.
All good, no worries. Just wanted to let PHWA and know and everyone on the board if there's anything that we can assist with regard to this management plan or even the other larger scale plans. We're updating our master plans as well at the same time. So if there is some information needed, definitely available. And so I appreciate everything that Don and his team is doing to make the compliance a priority. So thank you guys for your support. Over.
Okay. I don't have questions. As I said, our general manager brought this before the Beach District Board. We had an opportunity to review this contract, or at least the proposal, and it looked. I went back and compared them the same. So I don't have any questions, and we're prepared to entertain a motion to approve the contract if the board feels.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Vice Chair Rollins?
Yes.
Member Hernandez?
Yes.
Member Dudley?
Yes.
And Chair Bouchard?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to board member reports, comments, and requests for future agenda items. I'm just going to go as I see board members tiled on my screen. So that would be first to you, Director Hernandez.
I have no comments, no questions. Thank you.
Director Debley.
No comments, with the exception that looking forward to this upcoming year and being part of the group. Thanks for having me.
Vice Chair Rollins.
Yes, I attended a issues meeting today with the Association of Water Agencies. And so they're developing a plan of action for the coming year. And the four main areas that they're going to be working towards be one for a sustainable groundwater management act. As you know, we're going to have to be reducing our use of water over the next 20 years. And so they're going to be working on developing different projects so that when state funding does become available, they have some shovel-ready projects that they can request funds for. The other big issue is going to be water reclamation, and looking at the various different water agencies and to see how they can improve upon that. And then I guess also probably less of a problem here, but the stormwater and how they can deal with the stormwater. So it was an interesting meeting. They're just basically setting up the foundation as they move forward into the coming year. One of the things that they've found out with these Zoom meetings, one of the issues is going to be trying to get various different communities more involved. And with these Zoom meetings, what they've found is they get a lot more people involved that might normally have come to community meetings to discuss about water, because I guess it's more accessible to them. And so the area of subject has gone, while there's been more input, the area of subject matter sometimes, skews off into different areas other than the agenda. However, it's been important for them to be get the community involved. And so I guess they're just learning how to deal with the fact that they have more people involved now. So that's about it.
Thank you. I always find it interesting in my career in public policy has been that if you don't have a lot of public participation, you're generally doing a good job. When they show up in droves, you've really ticked them off. It's always interesting that way. So I love seeing some level of transparency and benefit to that. I will just mention that I appreciate, I know the next meeting will be transferring the chair of this board to a Port Hueneme member, and look forward to that leadership, but appreciate everybody working with me and our opportunity to help advance the agenda of the PHWA going forward, and I appreciate your support. One thing that I think that we can continue to be influential in as the Channel Islands Beach Community Service District, nor does the city independently have a vote on who our GMA representative is, but the PHWA as a whole does, representing the cities, which is Mr. Tremblay, and he's done a fine job in there. Once he got elected for the city representative, as he's a council member for the city of Camarillo, but we all have a vested interest in seeing the GMA move forward on agenda items that address our long-term concerns as it relates to water supply, and to the extent that the GMA board needs to hear from its constituency, and that they want them listening to the stakeholders and the stakeholder group, of which we are all investing a lot of time in. Mr. Peter Candy and Mr. Martinez attending legal subcommittee meetings, trying to craft a long-term plan that deals with some of the issues that maybe both the M&I and agricultural community weren't particularly happy with that came out of the ordinance issue. If you have an opportunity to reach out to either your staff members, Mr. Martinez, Mr. Candy, to understand what those issues are and can influence your relationships with the GMA board to continue to be open to stakeholder participation rather than staff-driven policy that seems at some times to not fully recognize the stakeholder goals. That's helpful. So I will just leave those comments there for your consideration. Lots to be happening over the next year related to water, and appreciate the leadership of all of the staff here. So those are my comments, and if anybody else has comments, happy to entertain those. Mr. Jacobson, before I forget, you, sir.
No worries. Nothing for the group. Just looking forward to another good 2021. Hopefully it turns out much better for everyone in our community, and everyone can stay safe. Looking forward to a good year. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, if there's no last minute comments, anybody else have something to say, I will adjourn this meeting at 4:31. And if you guys aren't done with meetings, you can log on and watch the Oxnard City Council at 5.
Thank you for the role that you've taken over the last year as chairman, and I will rely greatly on your years of experience in this field.
I appreciate you all. Thank you, and this meeting's adjourned at 4:30.
All right.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.